The Monster Cup Series Season 3 finale at the Minnesota Motor Speedway. For today's race, we will be seeing 13 laps of racing around this very tricky and treacherous 1-mile racetrack located in northern Minnesota. Coming into today's race, Gino Harvey is the points leader, and the championship is on the line. A driver not racing for the championship is Denny Hamlin. He starts on the outside of the front row for today's race. Has nothing to lose, like I said. Just basically trying to be the best of the rest. But Jeff Gordon is on the pole here for the Pepsi 200. With this pole, he locks himself into the Monster Unleashed for Season 4. And he starts on the pole for a race where he has a chance at winning the championship. He's 10 points behind Gino Harvey, the points leader coming into today's race. And he will start from the number 1 position, so the best place to start for the number 24. And they roll off here today for 13 laps of racing. And here's your starting lineup for today's race. On the pole, like I just said, is Jeff Gordon, and starting to his outside, not a championship contender, Denny Hamlin. In row number 2, you will find the Blue Deuce, Brad Keselowski. He is tied for 3rd in points. And starting to his outside will be Kevin Harvick. In row 3, you have Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. Neither driver in contention for the championship. In row 4, Matt Kenseth and Bryce Harvey. Matt Kenseth still with a very slim chance of winning the Monster Cup Series championship. Tony Stewart, 2nd in points, 9 points behind Gino Harvey, will start 9th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the fan favorite, starts in 10th. Then Carl Edwards and Gino Harvey, your points leader by 9 points. That's a big lead, and he can do a lot with it. In row 7, 13th place will be Trevor Bayne, recently married, and Mark Martin. Then in row 8, rivals Carter Adelman and Jimmy. In row 9 is Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch making his last start for Phoenix Racing. Next year he's going to move over to the 78 Furniture Row team. In row 10 is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who's going to be racing full-time next season. And Marcus Ambrose to his outside, starting 20th. Then in row 11 you find Ryan Newman and Jeff Burton. Neither driver has really been all that great this season, but Jeff Burton has won 2 races. Clinton Boyer and Casey Mears. Mears making his debut into the Monster Cup Series. In row 13, you find Casey Kane and Jamie McMurray. In row 14, you find Juan Pablo Montoya and Paul Menard, 2 underdog drivers that have won races this season. And starting on the final row, Eric Almirola and Joey Logano making his final start for Joe Gibbs Racing. And here we go. The Pepsi 200 is green. Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin lead them down. 13 laps of racing starts now. Gordon clears Hamlin as Keselowski is going to go underneath the 11 in turn 3 on the first lap. Keselowski is clear into 2nd as they come out of 4. Truex makes it 3 wide. He is going to take 3rd away from Kevin Harvick. Truex now on the mission to get underneath Brad Keselowski for 2nd, and Matt Kenseth is going to go underneath him, and Denny Hamlin is around. Carl Edwards, your championship leader. Gino Harvey is in it. Big championship implications. Gino Harvey, your points leader, is involved. He had a 9-point lead, and he's going to finish 29th in this race. So this leaves the door wide open. There's Denny Hamlin. He's getting towed away. Bryce Harvey, Gino's brother, sitting on pit road. But let's get a replay of what triggered this huge crash down in turns 3 and 4. Looks like Kyle Busch got into Denny Hamlin, and then Gino Harvey went through the grass, spun up into Dale Jr. But we're back green on lap 4 out of 13. Brad Keselowski, here comes Kevin Harvick. He makes it 4 wide on the straightaway. He overdrives the corner, though. Here comes Truex underneath him. Martin Truex Jr. is going to take the spot away. Here comes Jimmy Johnson up the inside of Carter Adelman. Those 2 are still rivals, and Carter's going to dump him on the front straightaway. Johnson over on his roof as he goes into turn 1. Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson getting towed away like a weenie. And Carter just dumps him in turn 4, puts him in the wall, and then Kevin Harvick, I think he got a tap from Gordon, and then he slid down into Johnson. But we restart on lap number 6 out of 13. Keselowski's got the lead, and he is your current champion. But Carter Adelman makes it 3 wide. He is going to lead the lap. And Tony Stewart's going to work his way underneath Brad Keselowski for 2nd. But as they come back around, Carter Adelman still leads, but here comes Jeff Gordon underneath Stewart for 2nd. Now, Adelman and Keselowski have caught lap traffic, and Trevor Bayne blows up. With 4 laps to go, the caution comes out, and Carter Adelman had just crossed the line, and Juan Pablo Montoya gets his lap back. But we don't need a replay. We saw it, and we have a 3-lap sprint to the finish. Carter Adelman, Brad Keselowski lead him down, and Carter gets sideways. Here comes Gordon. He makes it 3 wide, and he goes to the lead. He's got a chance at the championship. 2 laps to go. Here comes Stewart. Stewart's your new champion. Bowyer forces him 3 wide. He goes to the point. Side by side for second. White flag in the air. Keselowski's in behind Bowyer. They crash across the finish line. Bowyer wins. And everyone is okay. Adelman getting towed away. Bowyer upside down. And we have word that Brad Keselowski is your Monster Cup Series Season 3 champion. Clinton Bowyer has won this race. And Carter Adelman led the most laps in this race. And here's your finishing results and the points as of race 21 out of 21. So first was Clinton Bowyer. Second place was Carter Adelman. He ended up 13th in points, the best of the rest. Finishing in the 3rd spot was your champion, Brad Keselowski. He ended up 1st in points. And then at the end of this race, you will also see the overall point standings and see where every driver finished, not just the 30 that were in this race. There's Martin Truex Jr. He made a good late rally in the season to finish 14th in the point standings. 3rd in the point standings was Jeff Gordon. He ended up 7th. And sorry for it kind of skipping around a little bit throughout the race. He pretty much missed the whole last lap, so I apologize for that. But there's Matt Kenseth. He ended up 6th in points. Kyle Busch ended up 8th in points, so that was a lot better than what he ran for most of the chase. Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson struggled for most of the chase, but Kyle Busch kind of redeemed himself later in the chase after winning a race eventually at Battle Creek. There's Kurt Busch. He ended up 25th in points. Juan Pablo Montoya, 23rd in points. The top 15 are locked in for the first 5 races of next season, by the way. Actually, for the first 3 races, sorry. So Mark Martin was the last driver in owners' points to lock himself into next season, at least for the first 3 races. And there's Greg Biffle. Finished 17th and ended up 7th in points. Bryce Harvey, 18th. He ended up 22nd in the point standings. Not the way he wanted to go out, but I'm sure he'll have a much better season. 37 drivers were in the Monster Cup Series this year. Casey Mears, the last of them. There's Jamie McMurray. He ended up 18th in the point standings. Had a chance of being the best of the rest, but just had a little bit of a struggle in the last couple of races. There's Paul Menard. He ended up 28th in points. There's Joey Logano, 26th in the point standings after a pretty dismal season. Trevor Bayne, 24th and 24th in the finishing order and in the points. Jimmy Johnson, after getting dumped by Carter Adelman, will finish 25th in the point standings. 12th in the point standings, 25th in the race, sorry. 26th in the race was Kevin Harvick, but he's 9th in points. He had a chance of winning the championship because of his win at the Washington Motor Speedway, but just didn't really perform very well in this last race after getting wrecked early. Carl Edwards ended up 10th in the points. He had a decent chase up until this last one. Gino Harvey ended up 4th in the points. That's got to be a heartbreaker for the number 4 team. But they did get a win this season. And last place in the finishing order and 11th in points, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So now, thank you for watching. This has been a great season of Monster Cup Series racing. And I promise Season 4 will be much more organized and better. Please don't beg for spots because there are no reservations. And, yeah, thank you for watching this season. And we'll see you in Season 4 signups right after Michigan International Speedway Racing next weekend. So thank you for watching this, and we'll see you in Season 4.